Hi, how you doing?
Nice t-shirt.
Thank you. Yes, do you know why I wore this? Because I thought, you lot have done really well with the marketing. I was at a festival, I won't say its name, and they were handing them out and everyone was going nuts for them. So it was a really good move that. I think the marketing has been really targeted and really focused. So do you have a hand in that?
To some degree, yeah. There's a master plan which, is offered to me, and then I sort of say, that's great, that's not so great, that's good, that's good. There's areas where we need. So, I mean, I've been, that's one thing I've learned about being a director. It isn't just about, shouting cut and selector. It's about, where the film lives and breathes after that and how it's presented to the public is important.
When I was a boy, my brother would always ask me which way you're gonna go. Will you go with the righteous or will you go with the damned? This is a story about the path I chose.
This film is very nostalgic. It's capturing British, black London in a way that we haven't seen on screen before, and also the authenticity of the Jamaican background. Why Yardie, and why is it so important to you?
The book was one of my first reading experiences, cover to cover. I'm going to lie to you, I went to school, but I don't like reading. I'm just one of these people that find it struggle. So I think that when I read this book, it sort of opened my eyes to A, reading, B, to the description, the imagination of Victor Headley, and how you can make something that isn't real relatable.
First time in London, true?
Yeah, man, first time.
Trust me, gonna love it, Denis.
I remember that feeling like, wow, you know what I mean? I'm sure this isn't real, but it was very relatable. And the music and all those vibes. So, cut to a point where I'm an actor that has an opportunity to direct a film, I knew that this wouldn't be too much of me stepping out of my comfort zone to make something and do exactly what Victor did, which is make it relatable.
Yeah.
Visualize it, give it a life, give it a heartbeat, make people that don't know that time period go, wow, I feel like I stepped into that. I remember when I watched Beat Street for the first time, and I remember I want to be in New York. I want to be in New York. I need to go get the Pumas. I need to go. So that's definitely part of why I did that. I think it's important at this point now that we're looking at, look, the truth of the matter is that Afro-Caribbean culture in our country has been a big part of this makeup of our country, okay? There's no doubt about that. And there are those who are going, not so much, but actually it's the truth. And here is a film that takes you back 3 decades in depth and shows you in one story about one human being, whether you relate or not, but you can go, well, that guy, yep, that's London, that's what it was. And I wasn't there in the 80s, but he was. That character was, that was a reality,
I'm grateful for it because we don't have this documentation of British, apart from things like Burning Illusion, the old school films. We haven't got anything now that's capturing that. And in the long run, thank you for that too. So in a nutshell, with the casting, I mean, as a black woman that wants visual representation, you cast Chantel Jackson across from Amel Amin. And you had some beautiful, tender moments that spoke to me as a woman that wants to see someone like me on screen.
4 years I haven't seen you.
My name is D.
D for Daddy.
D for Denis.
What was that purposeful casting? And in general, you had a great cast of some old school legends, British legends that deserve to be up on the big screen.
I think there was, purposeful casting in terms of, what she looks like there was no intention in that sense to say, I want this complexion or that complexion. I'll be honest about that. But when Chantel came in, it made sense as to why, and so many levels as to that would be the perfect combination. Because, there are, as you know, in our communities, we talk about complexion quite a bit. Yeah. And it was important to me to just flip that. Here we have, a fairer complexion lead and man who's fallen in love with a darker complexion female. To anyone else, that might not mean anything, but to our culture, there's something quite poignant about that, especially when you've got a man that's dealing with trauma control, trauma management, and his solid, his home base is this beautiful black woman. To me, that, that says something that is going to be missed by many, but, to me, like you say, you mentioned it, and that's heartwarming to hear you say that. My mum said the same thing. She said, oh my God, she's beautiful, and she looks like me, and she's the lead. And I'm like, yeah, but it wasn't an intentional move because of complexion, but the story lives like that. Dee falls in love with this woman, and she is his solid, his way out to some degree. So that was important. And I think that, casting movies is a really important thing. Audiences do want to see people they can relate to. There was a time when you were only cast if you were beautiful in some degree, whether it's complexion or whether you looked a certain way.
Yeah.
And these days, I think people are being cast by how relatable they are. And that's an important distinction to
Definitely. And thank you so much.
10 years ago, you killed my brother! Sometimes, a man have to choose his own path.
You can't go on like this.
I sent you to London so you wouldn't start a war in Kingston.
Zungo, 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 zungo,